On the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network at Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms and Fantasy Alarm as well. Welcome. I hope you all really enjoyed last week's Guillotine League show where we went through the entire draft in under 2 hours, which was crazy with 18 people. 13 rounds. But hey, it was great. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out still on the Better Network YouTube at Better Network. It was a lot of fun. And the ending, oh my goodness, the ending will leave you speechless or laughing, I guess. But it was a wonderful show. So shout out to everyone who was a part of it, all 18 contestants. And as we said, after each week, next Monday, somebody will probably be gone. Already. We'll see. I know there's a Monday night game, but somebody's going to have to go. And when they go, what better way to see them out than a Heavy T eulogy? That's right. Every week, Heavy T is going to give his eulogy to the team that loses. Hopefully, it's not me week one. That would be not good. So, looking forward to that. So, stay tuned as we go forward into the season. Tonight, last hour, full, and I mean full preview of the NFL season. That's right. Heavy T, myself, and Thomas Stevens will stay on after Rant on the Street, which will be tonight as well. He was off last week, on Space Mountain or whatever he was doing. Thunder Mountain Railroad. And we will go over every division, pick our winners. Then we'll pick our award winners, and then we'll pick our Super Bowl winners, NFC, AFC championship winners, and just have a lot of fun with it the last hour of the show. And I'm going to go over a betting preview of Thursday night's game as well between the Chiefs and the Lions. What I saw in the spread that I liked, didn't like, hated for the most part. But it's an interesting spread. Let's put it that way. Especially when you've been doing college football like I have all weekend. And you see spreads that are like 37, 47. It's crazy. And you see 6.5 and you go, oh man, that's close, but it really isn't in the NFL. So I'll explain more of that later. Also tonight as well, like I said, Rant on the Street. We're going to have Rantlines. As far as Case of the Mondays, the Case of the Mondays will start back up again in full next week. After every NFL weekend, we will do Case of the Mondays here on Monday Night Rants at the end of the show. And that's always a lot of fun welcoming that back as well. But hey, we got football on right now. That is right. Monday night college football, as we said, Clemson versus Duke. I did have a little bit of action on this game. Now check this out. 76% of the public was on Clemson at this at minus 12.5. I got it at 13. Plus 13. On Duke. I'm all about Duke in this game. I don't know what we're going to see from Clemson this year. I think they were very overranked at 9. They're kind of going off the name. Yeah, they had that incredible run with Watson and Lawrence. We know. But this is a Duke team with a solid quarterback. A lot of people think he could be in the NFL. A defense who was pretty decent last year that returned 8 starters for Duke. And I thought they were going to give it all they could tonight in this game against Clemson. And so far it's 7-6. So I'm there. And I got 13 points to play with. I wouldn't be surprised if Duke wins this game. We do have to look at tackles though. I do want to know, Heavy T, has Memorable Factor played in this game? And has he done anything? Because we are rooting for our boy here in Monday Night Rants, the linebacker for Duke, Memorable Factor, out of London, by the way. Shout out to the English. But yeah, What a great game so far. Again, Duke, I thought they would surprise. I got money going the other way from Clemson and fading the public. I like what I see so far, especially with the defense with Duke, which I think is going to be a really strong point this year. Again, bringing back 8 starters on defense is going to do a lot. I've seen Fresno State do it when they brought back their defense. They won the Mountain West last year, and they looked really good on Saturday too. They went into Purdue in West Lafayette and beat Purdue with a whole new offense. But again, defense, bringing back starters matters in college like you wouldn't imagine. I saw that on paper. I said, oh, yeah, they're going to beat that spread. So here we are. Hopefully I could cash. And if you have a second half or anything, we could go over that later. But hopefully you're seeing that too. I'm excited to watch college football. And my boy, memorable factor. Hopefully he's playing. So let's go over some winners or losers. I talked about winners. Obviously, Fresno State was a huge winner going into Purdue. Shout out to my boys, Fresno State. Going into West Lafayette and beating Purdue, a really good Purdue team, I thought, but I don't know. Is the Fresno State offense that good, or is Purdue maybe not as good as they were last year? They did lose a lot of players, but so did Fresno State. They lost Hayner. They lost 4 of their top receivers, their top running back. They lost their top safety who transferred to Oregon, who was the Mountain West Defender of the Year or like all Mountain West. So I don't know what to expect. But I did actually take Fresno State in the points. Kind of a homer, I know. And it paid off. I had a really good betting weekend. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was one of the suckers who took TCU in the points. I did not expect a 1-11 team last year with Deion Sanders as their coach go into TCU, who was literally in the national championship the last time they played, and keep up with them. They didn't blow them out. Let's be real, people. And this is a TCU team that also lost a ton, and I mean a ton of players to the NFL. Their entire offense pretty much went to the NFL. So I don't even know what to expect for TCU. Am I surprised? Yes, a little bit. But at the end of the day, let's not all go thinking this Colorado Buffaloes team is going to go win a national championship. Okay? It was a great story. Shout out to Coach Prime and his 5-star Jackson State guys that came with him. 80% roster haul, by the way. 80% new players on that Colorado team. So it's impressive, yes. But I'm looking at these teams in college football, like really looking at these conferences. And the craziest thing is just the cherry on the top of all this college football madness is I think the Pac-12 has the best conference this year in college football. What? Think about it. Low year for Alabama. Ohio State did not look good against Indiana. They had everyone go to the NFL. Clemson right now, all they can handle with Duke. And then you're looking at the Pac-12. What a weekend for the Pac-12. The last year of the Pac-12. Oregon put up 81 against, I know, Portland State, but still, 81. A big win for Washington against Boise State, who always wins week 1. Colorado. Utah. Cameron Rising was hurt. Backup quarterbacks come in and they beat Florida. USC, 2 weeks now. Caleb Williams looks like the first pick in the NFL next year. He will be. Oregon State doing their thing yesterday. It's just crazy that this conference is disbanding right when it's the best that they have been in years. You know why? All their quarterbacks came back. A lot of their players all came back. Well, the other conferences had a huge overhaul in players, except for Colorado, of course. But still, I'm expecting a Pac-12 team to make the college football playoffs this year. It could be USC, could be Oregon, could be Utah, could be Washington. They all look like top 10 schools yesterday, or Saturday and yesterday. So, the winners of this first weekend, you have to give it to the Pac-12. And this may be the last time we could ever say that. So, there's that. But shout out to the Pac-12 and those teams coming to play on Saturday. So we said some winners. Should we do some losers? I like a good losers. By the way, Tennessee looked really good in the SEC as well. Joe Milton looks great. I said down year for Alabama. The whole SEC. LSU got annihilated in the second half by Florida State last night. I think it's wide open in the SEC this year. And Alabama's going to have a little bit of rough learning edges as they get their newer players involved. I think next year they'll be fine. But this could be a year where Tennessee kind of sneakily wins the SEC and goes to the college football playoff because Milton looked great. I know they lost Hyatt and they lost a lot of their receivers, but the team still is on a different level. So I love that they're winners. But let's get off the winners now and go with some losers of yesterday. Like I said, Ohio State, all they can handle with a terrible Indiana team. Again, overhaul. They lost Stroud, right? They lost some receivers. They lost Jackson Smith-Njigba. They lost players. They lost defenders. And they had a pretty good haul when it comes to recruiting, but they're just 1 year away. Like, that's why I think Michigan's in a good spot this year, and also Penn State, which I hate to say it, but I was a little weary of them, but they look pretty good as well. But Ohio State could be in trouble this year of maybe not making the college football playoffs. So, going to be a little rough when they get into the actual Big Ten play. So really, when you look at it, current Big Ten, bad weekend. Purdue, Ohio State, all these teams, Minnesota. New Big Ten, USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, look great. I think those four schools, the way they're recruiting and the way they're doing things on the West Coast will fit right in. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, Ohio State 23-3 over Indiana. Come on now. It's not a good day. Florida, I thought they would have a little bit more against Utah. They did not. That team without Anthony Richardson does not look good. They're big on defense. They are big. You can see it. Watch the game, people. Their defense is huge. However, they're slow. Their defense was so slow that they could not catch up to anything that Utah was doing. And that's the reason why they lost the game. Straight up. Those big boys, slow. So going into a spread offense in Utah with multiple running backs that could get outside, also catch the ball, not going anywhere. And it showed. So Florida's in trouble. Nebraska just can't win week one. Every year, week one, they find a way to lose. Sure enough, they did it again against Minnesota. Now, Nebraska's a big loser because they just lose every week one. The way they lost was incredible. This wide receiver from Minnesota literally had a play. I don't even know how to explain it. He caught the ball. Now remember, it's 1 foot in bounds in college. He caught it, but in order to let his foot drop, he had to do a Jumpman Jordan logo to get his right foot up in midair. It's a crazy catch. Look it up. It was pretty cool to see too. So, but Nebraska again loser. And my final biggest loser, I'll give props when props are due. Shout out to my boys at Wyoming for upsetting Texas Tech in a wild game that went to overtime late on Saturday night. Probably the game of the day, to be honest. It was a lot of fun going both ways. Texas Tech had a 17-point lead, blew it completely. 17 straight. And finally going to overtime where Wyoming took it to them. And Texas Tech has Oregon next week. 0-2 are in the cards for Tyler Shug and the Texas Tech, who, by the way, had a really good finish to last season. So there was really a lot of high expectations. But losing to this Wyoming team is not one of them. And, I forgot. There's another upset, too. My biggest loser should be Baylor because they lost to Texas State. So Heavy T is right. Shout out to Texas State, by the way. And Baylor just does not look good this year as well. So what we're seeing is a shift here. I know it's just 1 week or 1.5 weeks, but we're seeing a crazy shift in college football. The Pac-12 could be the best conference in college football this year. This is their last year of existence, which is crazy. We're seeing turnover a lot in the SEC from losing players to the NFL who matter. Alabama, LSU. Now, the ACC looks strong as well. I'm not as high as Clemson. Florida State looks like they could win the damn championship. That's how impressive they were in what half? The second half last night against LSU. I'm really a lot higher on them than I was in the beginning of the season. Now, normally on Mondays, and we'll do it every Monday, we would have the rankings out. But since there's a game tonight, it'll be tomorrow. So we'll go over those next week and kind of judge and go up and down of what I think. But really good betting weekend for me this weekend. I hit a lot of the plus 38s, plus 45s. I was all on Oregon at plus 48, and they killed that too. Or I'm sorry, minus 48. I was one of the suckers who took TCU. I will admit that. But overall, a plus weekend. And again, tonight, I have Duke minus or plus 13. I just think this Duke team is going to have kind of a special year. And I don't believe in Clemson this year. So they switched quarterbacks last year. It's just a lot I don't like with what they're doing. So there you go. All right. Something I was really excited about, and you may have seen some of the videos on Better Sports Network that's at Better Network at all your favorite social media platforms, is Rival Fantasy. My boys, you've seen Neil Maligno was on this show. We talked to him. I had a chance to actually demo their season long, and let me tell you, it is 100% incredible platform. I'm like, I don't want to say names, but I'm going to say them anyways. I'm going to say bye to Yahoo. I'm going to say bye to ESPN. I'm going to say bye to CBS. I'm going to Rival I have 2 drafts left. I'm switching them. And I'm the commissioner, so what I say goes. We're switching to Rival. Here's why. It is the easiest way to start a league. It is so easy. And you can get bingo cards at the same time. You know how I feel about bingo. But you log on. It's free to start a league. You could do as many players as you want, up to 16. And it's the draft. It's like a really good, simple experience. It's great on the phone. It's great on your desktop. There's all sorts of your favorite settings, PPR, standard, and it's just easy to get started. And that's the best part about it. It's super easy. I did one over the weekend. I loved it. And because they launched, here's what they're doing. If you go to joinrival.com/alarm, not only do you get your up to $200 deposit match, so you could do bingo cards like we'll be doing next Monday night, but start your league with your friends, switch from Yahoo, go to Rival. Here's why. Because this weekend, they are going to do a drawing, and one of the multiple leagues are going to get up to $1,000 league dues from Rival put into your league. So you start a free league, you win one of these raffles this weekend. Next thing you know, that's $1,000 to the winners of your league for free. That is incredible. Shout out to Rival for doing that. And I'm not just saying it. It is a fantastic platform. Check that out. You know what's not fantastic? This is going to be a terrible segue, Heavy T. You know what's not fantastic? Domestic violence. Jesus Christ. Yes. And I hate to bring such a high down, but this is breaking news from today, so I got to talk about it. I'll be quick because I don't like this stuff. Oh, here you go, right there from Jeff Passan. Julio Urias, who I have on my dynasty team, so I'm not happy about this in multiple ways. He has been put on, not leave, I guess, but apparently the dude hit another girl or woman. This is the second time. Remember, he was already suspended 20-something games and like 4 years ago for the same thing. This is his second time now. Let's be real. How stupid can you be? You've already got suspended once. You're on arguably one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. You're one of the best pitchers on that best team. You have everything going for you. Why on earth would you want to do anything so stupid a second time? Now, $50,000 bond is pretty serious, which means this isn't just a slap on the wrist, go home. That tells me right now that this happened. And if that did happen, and I'm sure there's video, because everyone has video of everything, he shouldn't be allowed to pitch in MLB again. Not just the Dodgers. MLB. He should go join Trevor Bauer over in, what's it called? Whatever. Yeah. Get out of here. Don't want it. One time, okay. It's still bad. Even one time's bad. What am I saying? No. But you got your due. Don't do it again, or you're the definition of insanity. Here we are. So you won't be seeing Julio Urias probably for the rest of the season, if it's true. Pitch for the Dodgers, which really, really hurts their playoff run, right? Like, he's one of their aces, their anchors in that rotation, and a bunch of young guys behind him who have no playoff experience. So it ought to be interesting. So just hurting his team, putting everybody else last except himself. So Julio Urias,
you are one pathetic loser.
There you go. So we've been waiting the news on Cooper Kupp all weekend long. Apparently he had issues with his hamstring that came up. So everyone was trying to wonder, what are we doing with Cooper Kupp? Well, today, Sean McVay did say he was going to say some words to kind of help us, maybe understand a little bit more what was going on. He gave us nothing that we didn't already know. He's still in Minnesota okay, by the way, none of this is good at all. He's in Minnesota seeking a specialist for a hamstring issue. When you have to seek a specialist for anything, that's not good. No, I don't think he's going to be out there week 1. I don't see how he's out there week 1. I would say even week 2 is a little shoddy to me. I just, every time anyone has to see a specialist, it's never good. So I'm glad I've stayed away from Cooper Kupp in a lot of my leagues. And hopefully you did too. I just don't, the injury last year and coming back and his age, just the way where he was being picked. Now, if his ADP was like late second, third, I probably would have drafted him in a ton of leagues. Way too high when I could get Tyreek Hill instead, or I could get Devontae Adams instead, or Garrett Wilson instead. So thoughts and prayers to my fellow Cooper Kupp owners out there. Well, not fellow, because I don't know. But thoughts and prayers to you, my friends. And hopefully he gets back on the field soon, because I do like him as a player. So hopefully he returns. Last thing before we go to break and we do Rant on the Street with Thomas Stevens at Better Thomas, which should be a fun one tonight. Probably going to be NBA questions. Just warning you now. This is an NBA show. We're big in the NBA. And NBA, by the way, guess what? A month and a half away from the NBA starting already. So there you go. That time of year, baby. Fall. Bring on fall. Fall's the best, isn't it? Fall is the best. But I like summer. Yeah, well, you probably live on the beach. That's why you like summer. I don't live near the beach. I like fall. But I like winter. I like snow. I don't get snow. I got to drive 2 hours up the mountain to get snow. I like fall. You know why I like fall? Because I can wear shorts and a hoodie. It's awesome. So I like fall. just ranting about seasons now, Heavy T. That's where we've gone. But okay, so finally the NFL decided today they were going to actually give us some information on the Purdy rule, or the Christian McCaffrey rule, if you will, which is the emergency third quarterback and how it works. And that's why you've seen a lot of teams are only going with 2 quarterbacks this year. The Chargers are one of them. They're only going 2 quarterbacks. I think a lot of it has to do with this rule. The way it works is, well, there's the bullet points right in front of you. So players who play any position other than quarterback are not permitted to serve as the emergency third-string quarterback. Therefore, Christian McCaffrey would not have been able to play quarterback last year in the NFC title game. Emergency third-string quarterbacks can participate in warm-ups. So the quarterbacks who are on the roster as the emergency third string can actually go and warm up ahead of the game and get warmed up and get ready to play. Cool. Right? If either of the team's top 2 quarterbacks are clear to return to a game, they will be allowed to do so, replacing the third stringer. So even though the third stringer comes in, if one of the quarterbacks are cleared, they could replace him. Makes sense. Emergency third string quarterbacks cannot enter a game due to a team benching either of his top 2 quarterbacks for poor play. Makes sense. Although, have you ever heard of faking an injury? Yeah. Any unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will be addressed if a team violates any stipulations laid out by the league. Okay. So we kind of pretty much, this is a quarterback who is on your team, who isn't on your practice squad. So he can't be called up from your practice squad. He isn't involved in anything during the game except for warm-ups. So he does his warm-ups, and then what does he do? Just sit there and wait? Is he even allowed on the sidelines? Is he up in a box, like waiting, like, oh, it's my turn. I got to take the elevator down. Like, wow, it's crazy. I understand it, but just don't understand why they would go to this level to make it so confusing. Why couldn't you call up someone from your practice squad to play third string quarterback? I don't get it. That's how it should be. You should be doing that. But apparently, it doesn't mean it. Better Boss, I'm officially pot committed to the Bears offense in 2003. We know! What do you guys think about the third quarterback rule? I think it's kind of dumb. Just let the third quarterback do everything a quarterback would do. Just have that spot as a designated third quarterback spot. Not all these rules where you can warm up, but you can't do anything else. You can't be on the practice squad. You can't. It's just come on. Let's go. My favorite is bench from poor play, but I can't wait till a coach fakes an injury. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Oh, he had ankle issues. That's why the third stringer emergency quarterback came in. It's gonna happen. That's just the way the cookie crumbles in the NFL. It's going to happen. But man, am I excited. Excited for the football season. We are 4 days away? Detroit, Kansas City. I'm doing a complete breakdown of betting that game after the next segment. So stay tuned for that before we get into our complete preview of the 2023 NFL season. Division by division, award winners. We're going NFC Championship, AFC Championship, and who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. And we're gonna put some tags on it, which means we're gonna remember this and come back and say you were dumb, and I was smart. I said it like that. All right, my fellow ranters, we're gonna go for a quick break. When we come back, as always, welcome back from Disneyland, my boy Thomas Stevens, Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Boom.
The Detroit Lions select Sam Laporta, tight end, Iowa.
Had to go with your boy Sam Laporta there to pair with TJ Hawkinson.
Sammy, I couldn't double down on rookie tight ends. I think that would take it. That's taking it a little too far.
This could be one of the most exciting rookie tight end classes in a while, just based on the archetypes of these guys, of the Dalton Kincaids and the Sam Laportas. Obviously, Green Bay drafted two themselves with Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. So after Kincaid, I would say is probably the consensus with tight ends. Like, who do you like as far as the best ball, like end of best ball? Do you like Laporta, or is there anybody else you like more?
I do like Laporta. We're looking for guys that can be a top 2 target on their team. So any path, any argument you could make, right? So you can make the argument that Dalton Kincaid is going to be a top 2 target with after Stephon Diggs. You can make an argument that with Jameson Williams suspended, now Sam Laporta is just going to play straight up wide receiver. He looks like a wide receiver. Why can't he line up out wide at split end, right? It's like Marvin Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would also throw another name in the ring, and I don't mind, since we're doing this for the fans, for the kids. He's still on the board. Luke Musgrave on your Packers. They're not super loaded at wide receiver. We like the guy Reed they drafted, but you never know. So why can't Luke Musgrave be a big slot? In fact, they drafted 2 tight ends, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. Tucker Kraft is more of an inline guy. They might just go 2 tight ends right away. Tucker Kraft inline, Luke Musgrave in the slot. Why can't he be a target monster for Jordan Love? So those are the guys, those are the conditions that you need for a rookie tight end to succeed. They need to not only be the best pass catching tight end on the team, but a top 2 pass catcher on the team outright. That's how you get Kyle Pitts. Evan Ingram as a rookie was top 5 because Odell Beckham Jr. hurt his knee 4 weeks into the year. So that's the formula. We're looking for guys that can actually be a top target right away. Otherwise, we're playing the sit and wait long-term game, which is what you're doing with guys like Michael Mayer.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants, the last Monday Night Rants. Oh, sorry. Before the NFL season starts. And I am excited, and I know somebody else who is also very excited. Stacks Money Side. That's a great name. Said, what up, Stacks? Welcome to the show. My boy, Thomas Stevens, back from a little mini vacation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what was your favorite ride at Disneyland and why?
I would say the new Star Wars ride, probably.
It's awesome, huh?
Yeah, it's
I love
cool.
that thing.
Last time that I went to Disneyland, none of that was there. So seeing, like all the new stuff, that was pretty cool.
You live there.
Yeah, dude, Disneyland's so pricey, man. It's hard to get over there, but it was a lot of fun though. I can never go wrong with Cars too. I've always loved Cars.
Yeah, Cars is great.
Cars ride's cool.
And you're 21 now, so you probably enjoyed California.
I did have a nice margarita, but it was 95 degrees out, so it was a little miserable. But I did enjoy.
This guy said 95 degrees. Oh, you were drafting the Spider-Man line?
In the Spider-Man line, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Jeez, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. He has a brother who works there, who works the Cars line. And last time I went with my family, I was actually trying to get Heavy T was trying to hook me up with that, but he wasn't working that day. So next time.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know people in the business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
in the Disneyland Cars business.
It comes in handy for sure.
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, man. Well, how'd you feel you did in the guillotine draft? I thought your draft was pretty good.
Yeah. Look. So honestly, this is my first 18-man guillotine, something different than what I usually do.
All of ours, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely went into it thinking my team could be a little bit better, to be honest with you. But I like it though. I think that my first, I would say 6 to 7 picks, I was pretty confident in. I liked them. I did auto draft 2 guys on my bench that I wish I wouldn't have because I lost service at Disney.
I also auto drafted somebody on my bench.
I rewatched the whole show when I got home, and I mean the ending was just hilarious. The Taj McGowan guy.
You have to check it out. You have to go watch the ending. It
so
is
funny. So
something that is just
randomly
happened that
kept
on going and going, and people in the chat were looking up his personal life, and it just got bad.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
But yeah, all in all though, it was I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. My friend's dad who joined, I felt so bad for him. I don't know. I still haven't talked to him. One Oak fan. I have no clue.
Oh, that's your friend's dad?
Yeah. Man, I have no clue what happened. I haven't talked to him, so I have no clue because what you were saying was right. The way if the players that he drafted, you queue those players. You don't just get Tyreek Hill.
It didn't look like, it looked like it was queued. But then again, I got my auto pick, so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just.
I think he took Michael Mayer in the 3rd round.
That can't be queued. So you should find out what happened there because he is the favorite to get the first eulogy next Monday night. There's a game on Monday night, and we could already be given a eulogy at that time for Mr. Oak Fan 24 on the guillotine here. So
I'm already trying to scout out what players he has that I can add because I'm second on the waiver wire.
You and everybody else, my friend. You and 17 other people. So remember, only $1,000 fab budget there.
Yeah.
So Stacks cannot wait for the NFL start. Yeah, neither can I. More on that later because we're going to keep Better Thomas here. Tom Stevens on. He's going to join me and Heavy T next hour. We're going to go over the whole NFL. Monday Night Rant style, baby. Do it right. By division, who we think is going to win, some sleeper teams. We're going to go over who we think is going to win MVP, Rookie of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year is a given. There's no reason to bet on anyone else, but we'll explain why later in the show. So stick around for that. But you want to jump into the questions here. Was that a fumble by Duke? Oh, Jesus.
Was it?
I think
have
so.
Clemson -12, and I'm getting really worried over here.
I took Duke. I did.
I just went the opposite. I saw a bunch of people coming in on Duke, so I was I'm just gonna go.
78% took Clemson.
Yeah, the plus 13 or plus.
No, they took Clemson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I'm on the complete opposite side. Jesus.
Yeah. And all the research I did, 8 returning starters on defense for Duke.
A
quarterback's
a ball.
Good.
Yeah.
And memorable factor. How are we, Heavy T? I need to know, are there any memorable factor tackles? If he gets 5 tackles, if memorable factor gets 5 tackles tonight on defense, I'm giving $100 to Chip.
Hey.
Memorable factor tonight playing for Duke. What if he has the winning sack to
The biggest one. Maybe at the 200 then. I don't know.
It's memorable, and it was a factor.
Sure. For sure.
Well, you want to jump into the rants on the street questions?
Yeah, let's get it started.
How about I guess that would be charity too.
The
right?
heavy tea charity.
When you're a Falcons fan, that's.
Yeah, we can jump into them.
All right. What do we got? NBA? Because
we do have some NBA.
I've been thinking about it. I was like, man, NBA was like, we're only like a month and a half away from NBA.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how fast everything just goes, man. For sure. And this is, you got to love it too, because it's like football, NBA, postseason baseball. I mean, which is college football. Everything.
I'm not worried about postseason baseball this year.
I'm not either, as usual.
I'll still talk about it. But,
yeah. First question, actually, college football. So,
here we go.
I think this is probably the question. I've seen it all over TikTok. I've seen it all over Twitter. I've seen it all over everything. Is Colorado legit after beating TCU?
I talked about this earlier. I do think they're better than the 1-11 or whatever they did last year. Obviously, it was an 80% roster overhaul. He had some 5-star recruits that went to Jackson State with him that came over. Obviously, his son had a wonderful game. And TCU, we didn't know. They lost their entire offense to the draft, and they had a magical run last year, obviously.
They lost their offensive coordinator, too, I think.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Colorado blew them out of the water either. They had to keep up with them. They were down a few times. They came back. Sure. It was a great game, but they didn't blow them out of the water. The Vegas was wrong, obviously. I was one of the suckers that took that bet. But I think it was a win for Colorado, a win for Coach Prime, but they have a rough schedule. And here's why. Because I think the best conference in college right now, after week 1, my eyes, is the Pac-12, which just ironically enough is the last year there'll be a conference.
Yeah.
But look at all the teams: Utah,
Oregon,
Oregon State, USC, UCLA, Colorado with a big win.
Yeah.
All these teams racking up big wins. And you're looking at these other teams like Ohio State, barely be able to beat Indiana. Alabama, we don't know. Clemson's getting all they can handle right now with Duke.
Barely,
Florida State dominates LSU. It's not the same SEC we've seen. And I have a feeling they're for real, as in they're a real team. But that's a gauntlet they got to go through. They have to play USC and Oregon back to back at the end of this month. And then they have to play UCLA. They have to play
Oregon State, I think, in there too, right?
And Washington.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's tough. Washington too. I don't think we name Washington.
The whole Pac-12. And Colorado will probably rank like 24th tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
So Pac-12 may have 6 teams ranked in the top 25 tomorrow.
No,
half their conference could be ranked tomorrow in the top 25.
And it's so funny. It's the last year, like you said.
Yeah. What a time. What a time in college football. Jeez. Love it, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think you hit it on the nail with, Colorado just played arguably maybe one of the best games we're going to see offensively the whole year from them. You saw 510 yards from, his son at quarterback.
Shadier.
4 touchdowns, whatever it is. And they only won by 3.
Travis Hunter he could be, which is crazy that he is the next Deion Sanders and he's coaching him, but he could be the best player in college football.
The guy just put up 119 receiving. That interception I saw,
he played over 100 snaps.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Offense and defense. It had an interception. That was crazy. A good jump route.
If he can stay healthy, that's my biggest thing is, being able to play both sides of the ball 100.
But
healthy for 3 years.
Then again, when he plays Caleb Williams at the other end, it's going to show a lot. But I mean, he's obviously going to the NFL and is going to be drafted high. He's a great player.
Yeah.
But do they have enough?
Well, I'm just like, like I said, they're obviously the offense was there. You scored 45 points. You know what I mean? TCU lost a lot of players, but they did go to the national title game last year. So 45 points is great week 1, but giving up 42 though and winning by 3 and arguably your best game. So now it's like, is your defense going to get better? Is it going to be worse? And then is your offense going to compete to 45 a game?
When they play Oregon, USC, Washington,
for sure.
I don't know if their offense will be able to keep up with those teams. Let's put it.
If they just give up 42 to TCU, I mean, Oregon and USC especially will absolutely go over them. And Utah, I really like Utah. I know it's off topic, but I really like Utah's football team, man. I liked them last year. I like them again this year.
It's the whole Pac-12, man. They're all good. They're all good. Half of them are really good.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny.
And they're all even.
No one talked about it before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
They'll have the most teams in the top 25 in their league.
Yeah. and then they'll all deassemble. They'll all leave.
Bye.
On to number 2, we're gonna go to the NBA. That was our only college football question, unfortunately.
That's fine.
Who takes a bigger step this year in your eyes, Jalen Green or Cade Cunningham?
Oof. Well, Cunningham's coming off a big injury,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
he's going to be thrown in slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he needed to take a step, as he was already pretty damn good before the injury happened.
Yeah, no,
Cade
Cade Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Green has to take a bigger step for his career at this point.
Mhm.
If he doesn't improve this upcoming season, then we go kind of bust situation.
Number
here.
2 overall pick, 100%.
Yeah, who many thought he was going to be number 1.
Yeah.
So we got to go bust it, but I think he'll be fine. He has a lot around him this year. A lot.
Mhm.
It's not about him.
I like the Rockets team, actually.
Yeah. So he just has to. It's shut up or put up. I think Cade Cunningham will be fine, and he'll actually be better than he was because he'll have Jaden Ivey to help him. And Jaden Ivey, by the way, should have an incredible year, especially in fantasy. If you play fantasy basketball, Jaden Ivey, when Cunningham comes back to open a little bit up for that, oh man, I'm telling you, Jaden Ivey's going to have numbers for days.
For sure.
He's going to have 10 assists, 20 points, blocks, steals every game. Yes, he'll have his turnovers. That's what Jaden Ivey does. But with Cunningham back in the mix, it's going to open up his game.
For sure.
So who takes the bigger step? Neither. Who needs to take the bigger step is Jalen Green.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. I think Jalen Green is in more of a prove-it mode. Cade Cunningham was a great basketball. I was high on him in fantasy last year. I drafted him high in fantasy. Unfortunately, he got hurt, screwed me, whatever it is. But if he could stay healthy, he's a better player in my opinion. He plays better defense. He's a better team player. He's not shooting freaking 30-something shots per game, and so that's where Jalen Green's questions come in. Is I think you see all the Twitter posts and TikToks and everything like that about Jalen Green and is he a bust and stuff like that. And I do think that it's a very reasonable.
This is his bust year. This is his bust year.
If we're talking about this next year, it's very reasonable to say he's a bust. So I think I agree with you. I think Cade Cunningham. I think Cade Cunningham needs to just focus on himself, come back from injury healthy, and he'll be fine. But individually, Jalen Green needs to have the way bigger year, 100%.
That Detroit team's going to be sneakily, youngly good.
For sure. No, for sure. 100%. They have a lot of studs, a lot of hard-nosed, defenders. They got the bigs. I still love that they got Wiseman for a bag of chips.
Yeah, dude. Ivy to Wiseman is going to be
for sure.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, their overall roster's got to be like 25. 20, 26.
Average age 22.
Yeah, literally. So yeah. This one's cool. Most annoying fan base in the NBA.
I like
these two teams: Warriors or the Celtics.
Oh, you said Lakers wrong.
Huh?
You said Lakers.
Thank God this person didn't.
They're probably a Lakers fan. That's why.
Probably.
I don't know. Like, I don't mind the fan bases. I know people who are fans of both teams. Though I'm going to give it to the Warriors, though, only because they didn't used to be annoying until they won a bunch, and now they're just like really annoying. I give it to them. The Boston Celtics fans, like I know one who's a hardcore Boston Celtics fan. I know obviously Coop and them as well at Fancy Alarm and Pemba are all Celtics fans, and they're okay. Like they understand. Like they've had some heartaches. I've seen we watched the last game against the Lakers when they won with Garnett and all that, and he was just a very down to earth. Like we won. It's awesome. He hasn't been an asshole since that. But Warriors fans, man, they got into this where like they're like just expect to win. If they don't, my goodness.
Yeah, not good. Yeah.
How about you focus on cleaning up your city there, San Francisco?
Yeah, for sure. Figure some stuff out.
Put all that effort and energy you do into hate and put it into good and clean up your damn city because it's gross.
That's funny. No, I know. It's funny because I'm a Lakers fan. People would obviously expect me to probably say the Celtics. But for me, I run into it more with Warriors fans. And one of my biggest things about Warriors fans, and I think you kind of touched on this, is they love They love the nowadays team, and they only know the nowadays team. For me, a lot of the ones, especially my generation, the ones I run into, and they're so KD, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Steve Kerr, that whole
They don't
thing.
remember Josh Richardson and the team that beat the number one seed for the first time or whatever. They don't remember that.
For sure. Yeah, no, they don't remember any of that.
Monte Ellis is a
I was about to say Monte. Mark Jackson coaching it. Mark Jackson is the one who set it all up. You know what I mean? For Steve Kerr to come and take it over and elevate it to the next level. But Warriors fans, they're cocky.
They don't remember the Blue Knight holding the lightning bolt. All they remember is the circle with a little bridge on it. Give me the blue man with the lightning bolt.
I used to love their throwback jerseys. I just want to say that the Warriors throwback jerseys are one of the best in the whole association for sure. So, but my answer is easy Warriors. I went to a Lakers playoff game this year against the Warriors, and those fans, man, they're throwing up, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or whatever it is, and it's just hilarious to me because you're in a stadium with 17 championships and you're counting to 5.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, the Giants fans are the same way because they did the same thing.
On to number 4, we'll switch gears, go over to football since we got it coming up.
Sweet.
For last. This is a cool question. I know this guy was like the meme of the draft, right? Everything this summer, everyone's talking about him. We'll see how he does. Do you think Will Levis will find success in the NFL?
I actually do, but not to a point where I'm like, I don't think he'll be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. I mean, does anyone want to learn under Tannehill? No.
Yeah, what's their
the roster they have there and the young receivers and Will Levis, and I watched a lot of his tape at Kentucky. I don't know why. I just always watch Kentucky games for some reason. I don't know, but he is Smith. He is
Alex
Smith. He is going to win some games. He's not going to put up 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think he's a safe bet. Which is what Tannehill kind of is too.
Yeah.
But I don't see him being as good as Stroud. I think Stroud will end up being the best quarterback from the draft. I've said that many times. I'm not high on Bryce Young. Neither is his weight. I just don't believe once one defensive lineman rolls over the top of
for sure. The big hit.
Anthony Richardson, I don't know. He's a work in progress. He could either end up being the next Lamar Jackson, or he ends up being the next who was that quarterback for the Raiders who did this sip it on before that sip it on LaMarcus Russell.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna go. That's how big we don't know is Russell or Lamar Jackson. So
big gap.
Yeah, it's a big gap. So we don't know. With Levis, I think it's a safe pick and that's why I think he fell, because he's safe, but he's not like superstar status.
Yeah. He's here, not
he
here.
can make NFL throws.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart. He'll make smart decisions. And that's a very, very run-first team. Kind of what Alex Smith was, kind of what helped him,
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's kind of his floor ceiling is kind of the same. But hey, if you told me and I would have an Alex Smith career, I'd be okay with that.
Up until the end.
Yeah, well, obviously the injury, but
up until that though, good.
I think that's what he is, and I think that's what that type of system in Tennessee needs is someone like that. Willis is not the answer. That was the worst draft pick. That may be worse. I mean, obviously Trey Lance was the worst draft pick of all time because of what they gave up to give him. But Willis may be that up there too,
just
because
pure draft
that
pick
dude looks like lost. He looks lost. He would look lost in the XFL.
Yeah,
like it's
horrible.
just
It's horrible.
But Levis fits the system, and I think that's why they went with him. And he will find success in the league, but it's not going to be a low floor or a high ceiling. It's going to be just very like he'll make it to the playoffs. He'll coach the Titans to the playoffs. He'll win that division, once or twice, and I think he'll be okay. He's not a fantasy guy. I'm interested in at all.
Yeah.
But when he's on the field and throwing, I'm going to be interested in the spread for betting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how he is. A good football player, not a good fantasy player. A good, but not a great football player.
Which is a big difference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I think the organization that he's in is why I think he'll have a successful career. I think if he went to a team, let's say he went to the Steelers last year when we didn't have Kenny Pickett and that was our draft pick, I wouldn't say this right now because we needed a quarterback to get us back to the level that we know where we're at, and a quarterback plays is a huge part of our system and stuff like that. So. But because he's with Vrabel and you have King Henry back there, you have some young receivers. You also have a veteran receiver now. Tannehill, I think it's literally just a perfect plug-in. I think right when Tannehill, when they're done with it'll be the same exact thing, but younger, maybe a little faster, maybe a little smarter, whatever it is, plug him right in, see what he could do. And like you said, he'll be successful enough to where they're getting bounced maybe in the first round, but they're making the playoffs as a wild card team, bouncing off of Derrick Henry and stuff like that. So, and for an NFL player, that is successful, I guess. So,
and I think Tajay Spears is going to be a huge fantasy asset
for sure
when it's all said and done next year. And it's going to be Levis, and Tajay Spears and Levis is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Only because Levis will be able to get him out, swing passes, get him open out of the backfield.
A lot of catches.
Yeah, and plus he led all preseason in yards per average rushing too. So I think so. To answer the question, yes, but not to a superstar aspect. Which, by the way, a lot of people gave Alex Smith crap or the 49ers crap for drafting him. If you look at his career and
he's a winner,
anybody, this would be your career, they'd be like, I'll take it.
For sure.
Just think about the flameouts that we've had from quarterbacks. Trey Lance. Trey Lance. I told you people. Like, we talked about Jamarcus Russell. Like Akili Smith, Ryan Leaf. There's that was obviously earlier, and they've been hitting more lately. That's for sure, except for Trey Lance. But I got it. Raiders fans, you catch a break today. It's all 49ers fans tonight. But I just think that's going to be his career. But how many times was Alex Smith in the playoffs? A lot. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they maybe never won it all, but I'll take a team and a quarterback that was just always consistent. He always made the right throw. Like he didn't try to do the extra stuff, and up until the injury, I was pissed off. I was so mad when he got the injury because of the, caliber player Alex Smith is, and the way he played the game, man, which was just with heart. And like I said, I love a quarterback that is just smart, and hopefully that's what Levis could be. But that's why I like the question, because I think having a successful career doesn't always mean, winning 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady.
That's my favorite question so far.
For sure. So we'll go to number 5. We're going to stay in the NFL. Are the Jaguars going to be a force in this year's NFL?
Well, we have to define force.
I would say, if I could steal it out of this guy's mouth, not sure what he's thinking, but I would say further than they went last year.
No. I mean, the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Again this year with the AFC got better.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I could see the intrigue. Calvin Ridley's back. Trevor Lawrence should take a step forward. We'll see his ceiling, I guess, this year. I mean, obviously that division is going to be easy for them to win, so they should probably get into the playoffs. But then, like, what if you have a rematch with the Chargers week 1?
Yeah.
Or what if the Chargers win the division? You got a rematch with the Chiefs. Or you're playing the Bills because the Jets won the division, or the Dolphins, or the Ravens, or the Bengals, or the. It's just like you're in the worst division, so I don't think you're going to be a force. You're going to have a record that's going to be nice because you're in the worst division in the AFC. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the playoffs, it's going to really show. And what happened with the Chargers last year under the new regimen here will not happen again, because Joe Lombardi just wanted to HB dive out Austin Eckler for an entire half of football and watch his lead go away. That's not going to happen this year under Kellen Moore. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and they did give the Chiefs all they could in the second round. So I'll give them that. It was a closer game than a lot of people expected, but you also had, a complete rookie defense for Kansas City with a lot of players starting who were rookies.
I believe that was the game.
Starting Mahomes defensive rookies, and Mahomes got hurt in the first half. So we also got to remember that. So is that team good enough this year to beat those teams? No. Are they good enough to beat the Bengals? No. The Bills? No. Are they going to beat the Jets? Maybe. But that defense is pretty damn good on the Jets. The Ravens, I don't know.
If healthy, I don't think they are.
I just
The Ravens are healthy.
when I'm already naming 6-7 teams ahead of them who they can't beat, then no, they're not going to be a force. They're going to be the same they were last year. I'm going out on a limb and feed my baby birds right now. They are going to be worse than they were last year.
I mean, you could totally see it with an improved AFC. 100%.
They're going to make the playoffs and they're going to lose in the first round. That's exactly what
happens last year if they don't have the miracle 20,
if they don't have Joe Lombardi going HB dive with Austin Eckler,
sure.
which is not Austin Eckler's game, by the way.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that it's hard to be what they did last year. They had a lot of luck last year. Obviously, they had a good season. They had, obviously took a step up after letting go of Urban Meyer and getting Doug Peterson and everything like that. And great season for them. Losing to the Chiefs, that's not a problem. You made the second round. Nobody expected you to do that, but it was a fluke. You were getting your butts whooped in the first round, and props, you came back. But like you said, horrible coaching on the other end, and I think it weighs more on the horrible coaching than it does them coming back. For sure, I agree with that. And I don't see them beating any teams that you just named. Any teams, not one. If the Ravens get hurt, fine, we could take the Ravens out of there. But healthy Ravens, they're not beating them. It's funny too because I am high on Trevor Lawrence. The whole Lawrence.
He's going to put up fantasy stats for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very high on that. I think the offense is explosive. I think they have a solid defense, but it's just if they're in the NFC, dude, we're talking completely different. You know what I mean? Like completely different if that team was in the NFC.
Can we talk about why the Jacksonville Jaguars are London's team?
That is the weirdest thing.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Maybe just like the logo.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
They're probably, hey, which team gets the worst attendance? Let's go put them in a London game so they get better attendance.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, let's make it stick every year.
Yeah, for sure.
And then next thing you know, they're like the London team. I was like, man,
that stadium got cited for rats and they're the London team.
it's just crazy. And
maybe they'll be the first expansion team to ever move out of the
that's what they were saying like a couple years ago. Go to London.
Yeah.
The London Jaguars. So stupid.
London's team.
London FC Jaguars.
Just like the London FC Jaguars. Just like the Cowboys of London, huh? London's team.
Jaguars United. That's going to be their name. They go over to Eaglet. Jesus Christ. Okay, off the rail. You down to stay with us and join Heavy T after the break and do some NFL preview?
Oh, yeah. Of course, man.
Alrighty then. When we come back, we'll take a quick little break. When we come back, Heavy T is going to join us. The Monday Night Rants crew all together again.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do a complete, and I'm talking complete, 2023 NFL preview for your ears, for your eyes, for your enjoyment. Join me, Thomas Stevens, and Heavy T after the break. Boom.
What can we expect from you out there on the track tonight?
Listen, I have a wife, 2 kids. I have, full-time jobs. I'm never nervous. I don't even know what that word means. Can you explain what nervous means? No. I'm ready to have fun. I've never done anything like this before. I got asked to be a part of this. This is fascinating. Like, it's so cool to just look around and see what goes on here. So I'm just excited to get out on the horse. And you want trash talk? Is that what you're asking me for? No trash talk. I hope everyone does well.
All right. Everyone's going to do well, but it has to be a winner. So give me your trifecta. Who's going to come in first, second, and third? Heat.
I will go Maria 1, me 2, Willie 3, Moose goes 4th.
Well, it's very simple. I won this event last year. I won my heat, and so the defending champ has to be the favorite. Now, that makes me a little nervous just because I feel like it's hard to repeat. There's a little pressure when you're the favorite, but that being said, I'm still optimistic.
So your heat, it's you,
yes.
Moose and Keith from Better Sports Network, and Willie Colon.
I think Keith might be my stiffest competition, and I asked for this because I actually recruited Keith, if you didn't know. So Keith, if you win, you're welcome.
Malusis is very good. I mean, he knows what he's doing, but I'm going to go with Maria.
Keith is waving to the crowd. He must pay attention because they're off. It's Mark Malusis going for the lead. Maria Marino on the outside, and now Keith Irizarry on the outside with speed, and they're 3 wide into the first turn. Woo! Mark Malusis is locked in for his life. 138 and 2. They're into the stretch. Sportscasters Derby 2. And still in front, Keith Irizarry. And now Mark Malusis is trying to squeeze He's on through.
Come on! Back! Come on! Let's go! Come on, dig it! Yeah!
Keith, there is Eric. Keith, you did it all the way, wire to wire, over Mark Malusis.
Awesome! That was so cool!
The champ is here! Keith, what was it like being out there? Adrenaline rush. You were doing the Instagram Live, so there was no panic. You looked cool, calm, collected the whole time, and you won it.
I felt really comfortable. I did. Like, I know you were joking with me before. Are you nervous? Are you whatever? What are you? David, the driver, was awesome. He's like, we're going to win this. I said, all right, let's win this. And he said, let's go. Yeah, I just felt really comfortable. I did. It was fun. We're in the lead. I got Maria Marino on the right side of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to beat us, right? And then out of nowhere, you see Moose coming up this way, and we feel him breathing down our neck. And I'm like,
Moose
no,
on the loose.
Moose.
Watch out.
Moose was definitely on the loose, and we just got Moose by a neck, a nose, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but again, all of this for a great cause, and it was absolutely awesome to do this. It was cool.
All right, Keith, congratulations. And no matter what, you could always hold this over Moose's head.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Monday Night Rants and the Riley Leonard coming out party, baby. 44-yard rush to the house from the Duke quarterback as Duke takes the league too, not the lead. And I'm telling you, man, Leonard, I got to ask our boy Garrett Price about him, the guys at Campus to Canton. I liked him, everything I saw, and right now, looking like the better team is Duke. So on the money as always. Joining me now for the NFL preview is the whole crew here at Monday Night Rants. Heavy T on air, at Heavy T on air, Heavy T Tyler Soto. And of course, you already saw him earlier with the great questions as always. By the way, hoodie to the Will Levis, my boy at Better Thomas Stevens, straight from his Disneyland vacation to your airwaves. All right, you guys ready to get into this? Let's do this, right? Let's go over the Thursday night game first, and let's do a little betting preview of the game to give people a little what we're thinking, and then we'll go into the full enchilada, if you will. So, Lions, Chiefs. Obviously, Chiefs will be getting their rings, a lot of emotion. Lions, everyone's darling team this year. Everyone's high on them to win that division. More on that later. When I look at the betting odds of this game and I see 6.5 in favor of the Chiefs, that makes sense. So a touchdown. It did get to 7, but came back down to 6.5. So not a lot of movement there. When I look at this, and I'm going to tell you what I think first, and you guys can tell me I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, I'm wrong, Edward. I need to quit my show. That's fine. But no, well, hey, Heavy T. I saw his face right there. He's like, what? Oh. It's like, welcome to Monday Night Rants with Heavy T. I was kidding. Okay, the Chiefs, yes, but we talked about it earlier too. The Chiefs' defense is really young, and Jones is not going to play, right? And of course, Mahomes will do his thing, Kelsey will do his thing, but the offense for the Lions is really good. You got a lot. You got Jared Goff. You got the Sun God and St. Brown. We're gonna see everything we can with everyone's favorite running back that I don't really agree with. I think David Montgomery is going to be more used than people think here. But with the defense being so bad for Kansas City in this, and at 6.5, I kind of want to take Detroit and the 6.5. It could be closer than people think. Maybe a field goal. I'm not touching the under at all at 54.5. I'll tell you that right now. I think it's going to go over. I would take that. I think it's going to be a shootout. And most of the first games on Thursday nights are always shootouts. To take away the New England years where Gronk would score 4 touchdowns against your Steelers on the first Thursday of the year. But we're back to this now. And I'm looking, it's pretty close. About 55% of the public is taking the -6.5 for Kansas City right now. So I'm looking at the Detroit bet and kind of saying maybe I would put little bit less than I would normally bet on the plus 6.5. Am I crazy? Am I wrong? Or what do you guys think? We'll go Heavy T first.
I don't want to say you're crazy. I think you might be wrong, but I don't think it's. Here's the thing. I think it might be wrong, but I don't think it's by much more than 6.5. It might be by 7. Might be by something like that. I'm not going to say that you're absolutely insane or whatever, but I'll say you're wrong still.
Okay. Thomas?
Yeah. I honestly kind of agree with Heavy T, spot on. I don't think it's I don't think it's crazy at all. I think Detroit could easily 6.5 is not anything insane, especially with the defense Kansas City. Chris Jones probably is not going to be there week 1 or whatever.
No way. Not a chance.
So, I don't think it's crazy, but I don't like to do that against Kansas City. I still want to take Kansas City at minus 6.5, but I also like the over in this game a lot too. So
yeah, the over seems too good to be true.
Yeah,
at 54.5. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. I can see this being like a 31 to 20.
27, for sure.
Yeah, something like that. Which means I would win the spread, by the way, just let you guys know that. But so I'm gonna probably put about half what I would normally bet on Detroit in this one, and then put what I would normally bet on the over.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'll be honest. I have a little 4-part parlay on this game, so it'd be interesting to see if it plays out.
Okay.
I have Travis Kelce anytime touchdown scorer.
I like that.
Patrick Mahomes over 305.5 yards.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs over 39.5
What?
rushing yards.
That's it?
Yeah, it's at 39.
I thought you were going to say receiving.
What's his total yards?
Total yards, I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that one. But his rushing yards, 39.5 on FanDuel. And then Jared Goff over 256.5 yards.
Oh, dude, I'll put him money on that too. Over 256 passing.
Yeah, over 256 passing. So that's a 4-piece
You guys talk.
parlay.
I'll be right back.
That's a 4-piece
I'm gonna
parlay
take that
on
now.
FanDuel. The odds, when you put those 4 together, the odds for the parlay plus 799.
Ooh, okay.
That's nice.
I
can see that hitting.
Shoot a text or something. I'll remind you.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Yeah, lock it in. Lock it in for those.
For sure.
Those,
I
honestly
literally
people.
like every leg in that parlay.
That's a great parlay. Yeah.
I can't believe Jahmyr Gibbs' rushing yards are so low. I thought you were going to say receiving yards.
No, 39.5 rushing yards.
Well, receiving yard. Well, he's going to be third down back, but if he just runs off for 1 for 20, then he has to get like 3. I can see that happening, especially because that again, the Kansas City defense is going to be a problem this year.
Yeah,
they're the best team in the NFL, no doubt. Well, maybe the Eagles, talent wise, they're the best team in the AFC, but their defense, they're not going to blow out people.
Yeah,
people are going to score points against the Chiefs. They just will score more points. That's 2023 in a nutshell.
Do you guys honestly think Detroit though, like week 1, really just like picks up where they left off?
They should. There's no reason not to. Right?
They should. I could see like maybe the first 2 drives being a little bit of a struggle.
And then picking it up. Yeah, for sure.
It always is the emotion. It's the first game of the season, right? And now there's this 1.5 to 2 week delay from preseason to the game, and
so you get another break.
Yeah, I can see even the Chiefs having a rough first 2 series, because they haven't played and but the Chiefs' offense is pretty much the same. Except what they lost Juju, and Hardman. But Sky Moore is gonna fit right in. Rasheed Rice will fit right in. It's just plug and play. All the running backs are the same.
O-line.
It's just the O-line's the same. It's just the defense that I worry about with Kansas City, and that's why I'm willing to take a little bit of money on the plus side of Detroit.
I'll probably sprinkle. To be honest, like if it's something small, I'll sprinkle something on that. It's not
a little salt bay on that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I like that parlay, by the way. We'll have to put that on Twitter.
I do. But you said plus 779?
Plus 799, yeah.
799. Nice, dude. That's nice.
That's a nice little parlay. I got to look at Price Picks and see if I can do something on that too. Because I could do that in here. Price Picks.
Just look, you don't have to follow me, but just know if you fade me, you're wrong.
Anyways, so let's go through the AFC first, and we'll go through the NFC, and we'll talk about he's stacking Walker, Metcalf, and Carr Olave in week 1 to win all the money. All right, well, Walker, Charbonnet is going to be a thing. That kind of scares me. Metcalf too. You got the Jigba. He may not play or be limited, but you also got Lockett. Again, I don't think Geno Smith is going to do what he did last year again. I do like the Carr Olave a lot, but I think Michael Thomas is going to be a thing week 1 until he gets hurt. So there's also that as well.
Derek Carr loves slant routes.
Yes, he does. Oh, yes. Or anything. And I'm willing to put money on this, and I got to see what it is. A anytime touchdown by Jimmy Graham week 1.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
I'm willing to put just a little bit of money on it. He's back. He made the team.
Yeah.
But if he comes in for red zone packages and I can just see, why not? Just put a little bit of money on anytime touchdown for Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, anytime touchdown on FanDuel plus 600.
Wow, that's actually higher than I thought it would be, but still pretty good value.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Like he's gonna have those games where he may have 3 receptions all year and they're all gonna be touchdowns. 3 for 3, 10 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's gonna be the stat line of Jimmy Graham this year.
For sure.
Guaranteed. Okay, well let's move into the East though, because we're gonna run out of time before we know it. All right, so the East, I'll tell you how I think it's gonna go, and you guys can tell me I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, Edward, I don't need to have a show anymore, all that good stuff. Okay. I think it goes like this. I think the Buffalo Bills win the division. I'm still on the Buffalo Bills. I think they're the best team overall. I'm not sold on the Jets. I think it goes Bills, Miami, the Jets, and the Patriots. Now, a lot of people have the Jets and Miami flipped. I understand that. Miami made the playoffs last year, right? They have a lot of the same players coming back. I know they have some injury issues on the defensive end, of course, but as long as, and on the offensive end, if Tua just doesn't hit his head, we're good. And the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, that's going to be a thing. And the defense and the running game, but Brees Hall's hurt. And I just don't know. I could flip-flop those teams, but I'm kind of going with the Dolphins, Jets, and then Patriots. So I got Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. Heavy T, you're up. Go.
I got Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots.
Okay, so
the Tua injury worries me, and I'm not going to lie. I never do this. I'm all in after the Hard Knock stuff. It was so good. Like, I'm completely bought into that. It's really good. Their O-line is their weakest point, so that's why I give Buffalo a slight edge. But the Tua thing legitimately concerns me. I really think we are 1-2 concussions away from him being done forever.
Maybe 1. If he has 2 more, I mean, geez.
Yeah, if he has 2 more, it's for sure.
In the span of a year.
I mean,
it's crazy. It's
just
insane.
Fall better, I guess. I don't know how else to do that.
All right, who do you got, Thomas? I think you're on the same page.
Do any of you guys know this strength of schedule between the Bills and the Jets?
I do not, but I don't think it's
I do have that right now. Hold on,
for both of them. I know they're divisional games. Those are tough games, so that's got to play a factor in it. But
I will tell you right now, the Buffalo Bills strength of schedule. Let me go to B here because it's all alphabetized. Is 0.542. So all the teams they play last year had a 5.42 win percentage, so just over 500. And the New York Jets, alphabetized, I'm sorry. So give me a second here. And all my write-ups. New York Jets, I've been here this morning. So, Miami is 5.54, so just higher than that. And then the New York Jets was sitting at
probably around the same too, huh?
There's 5.45. So yeah, they're all very similar.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, then if it's like that, then I'm just gonna go probably exactly what Heavy T's was. I'm not a huge believer in Buffalo this year, to be honest with you. I think it'll be the same thing as usual for them. I know that there's been a little problems with Diggs and Allen, and I don't know what's going on there, and maybe it's phony or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sleeping on the Jets. But I do still think the Bills take the division, but I'm not surprised at all if it goes Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Wow. Okay, so a Jets believer. Hard. Dude, it's a TV show that hard to watch.
No. I know, but it was just that good, and I'm just kind of it's Aaron Rodgers, and I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. We are going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers at some point again during this conversation. I'll give you a spoiler on that.
For sure.
He's going to be his MVP. What an asshole. Okay. We're moving on to the north here. We're moving on to the north here, which is Thomas's favorite division here with his Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's the way I have it. I do think that this is the toughest division in football. All of football. Every conference this year. Only because of how good Pittsburgh looked in the preseason. I know everybody's preseason, but still, they looked incredible. When their first team was on, that offense looked explosive. Absolutely explosive. And I'm kind of in on it, too.
Mm-hmm.
I have Najee Harris everywhere I can. I also backed him up with Jalen Warren later, too. Like, I'm all about it, right? Mm-hmm. I think Cincinnati is still the cream of the crop. I'm not worried about the Burrow injury at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put them first. Mm-hmm. I do have Baltimore second. Then I have Pittsburgh. Then I have Cleveland. But I think it's a game. I think Pittsburgh outdoes them by a game to not get last.
Yes.
Only because the injuries on the defense for Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Their offense will be a lot better. That's for sure. And I really like Elijah Moore this year as being a huge fantasy asset. But it's all on the shoulders of Deshaun Watson, right? With Pittsburgh, their defense is going to be good. Their offense, I think, is going to be way better. Pickett's going to have one heck of a year. Just Cleveland, they always tend to lose those games they should win.
Yep.
And Pittsburgh that does not. They win the games they should lose. So I'm going to go Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. Thomas, what say ye?
I mean, I think that's the most respectable order. And like you said, it's such a tough division that really, besides the Bengals being at number 1, which you can even contest to at Baltimore or whatever, 2, 3, and 4 is really just a toss between all three of them. I'm going to go, honestly, I don't believe in the Baltimore Ravens at all because of injuries. I don't believe in Odell Beckham Jr. I don't believe in Lamar Jackson staying healthy for a whole year. I don't believe in the defense staying healthy. So I'm going the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2. Obviously, the Bengals. So Bengals at 1, us at 2. I will still have the Ravens at 3, and the Browns at 4. But I think the way you said it between Pittsburgh and the Browns for 3-4, I think that's how it will be for the Ravens Browns. Very, a game away, whatever it is. But I'm also not a big believer in Deshaun Watson, man. I'll be honest with you. I think obviously he'll be better than what we saw last year, those last couple of games. But it was atrocious last season, dude. He came back and he honestly it looked worse, than what they had with Brissett. So I don't know, but this is such a coin flip of a division besides the Bengals, man, that, we'll be looking back on this, seeing who gets it right for sure.
I agree. Heavy T.
So this is the division that I think is going to be like the AFC East last year.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I mean, 3 of the teams in this division will make the playoffs.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think it's also very possible that all 4 finish with a winning record.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I agree. That
Yeah.
being said, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers.
Browns at 2, huh?
Yeah. So unlike Thomas, I actually am a believer in Deshaun Watson. I think you got to remember, he wasn't allowed when he was gone last year for the 12 weeks. He wasn't allowed to be at the team facility. He wasn't allowed to be on the practice field. He had to do nothing, absolutely nothing with that team.
He couldn't even go to massage parlors either.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't do anything. Okay, so it made sense why he sucked.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden he can just come back, and he had 4 days to get with everybody before it started.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I've seen Deshaun Watson when I lived in Houston. I know what he can do.
For sure.
He's going to bring it back this year.
By the way, I love that nobody is taking him in fantasy drafts. He my
drops
QB,
far in every
He's
draft.
my QB1 in 4 leagues right now. I love it.
He drops far in all of them. It's only, and honestly, if I was waiting that far for a quarterback, I would take him. But I get to where Lamar Jackson should be taken and no one else is taking him. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take him.
Yeah,
I have to.
Yeah, also. Yeah. Okay, so we're a little different there. So we'll have to mark this and see how right we are on the order. We can get points and figure it out at the end. But I like that. The South, I think this is going to be a quick one. I'm going to go Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts.
Yeah. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I agree.
I think you could probably say the Texans and the Colts will flip-flop, but I really do believe in Stroud. I also believe in DeMeco Ryans and the defense being better in Houston. I think Houston will have a better year than the Colts. The Colts still have a lot. They have better defensive players for sure. I don't know. Like I said, Richardson's gap is so big. We don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I know what to expect with CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be really good. and especially this year. And there's so many receivers on that team. Damian Pierce, and you got Singletary to help out too as well. Sorry, I'm trying to sneeze at the same time. I think overall the Texans, I'm talking about them like they're going to win the division. They're just not going to get last. How about that? So I'm going to go Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Colts.
Spot on. Colts have too much off-season drama as well, too, man. It's just too much stuff going on over there.
So this is what I have. And I might get ripped for this.
Yep.
But that's okay. Jaguars, Texans, Titans, Colts.
Okay.
Jaguars, Texans.
I can see that. I can see that too.
I
I just gave praise on the Texans, so of course I'm going to agree with
that. I partially agree with you on the CJ Stroud thing. I'm not big on any Ohio State quarterback, so it's like no offense to him. So I'm not big on Justin Fields either. I think that is a bust. But I am really big on D'Amico Ryans. I know that defense has been somewhat revamped. And I don't know why, but something's telling me that Tank Dell is going to end up being pretty good.
All of them. Mechie too. Remember John?
Yeah,
Mechie coming back,
that's another one. Yeah,
Dell,
everybody
Nico
forgets
Collins.
that Mechie is there. Yeah,
Nico Collins.
Collins.
Robert
I'm like,
Woods, too.
Collins. I'm like, no, the ageless wonder, Robert Woods. And you know, here's the other thing too. For Stroud, I think a very underrated move in the offseason was the Texans getting Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz,
that's a good move. Yeah,
I'm telling you, dude. I'm changing my mind. I'm with Heavy T. The Texans will get second in this division. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Put it on the board. He's an air horn.
I would love to see it happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would be pretty damn cool. CJ Stroud comes in, gets second, surprises everybody. I'd love it. I'm not ready to hop on that train, unfortunately, but I love it though. I love it. So
just keep forgetting all about Robert Woods. I said his name.
There's a reason why we're forgetting about Robert Woods. He's old. Okay? There's a reason.
Love it. I think we're all going to be on the same page on this one. In the West, I think it's going to go Kansas City, Chargers, Denver, Oakland. Is really? Is there any reason to not say that?
Yeah, I mean it's Kansas City's Kansas City. The Chargers are the Chargers. I really need to see what's going to happen with Russell Wilson, and then the Raiders are the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be terrible. But I was talking to a buddy about this earlier.
Oh God,
I do have the Chargers in second.
Okay,
but don't be surprised if they do slip to third. I am not a big fan of Brandon Staley at all. I don't like him.
I am not excited about Brandon Staley. I am more excited about Kellen Moore, who I think will be the coach of the Chargers next year. He'll be the head coach of the Chargers next year.
Book that. Come back to that because that will be. I 100% agree for sure.
Okay. I think this was a little bit of a move to fulfill contract, fulfill some money. One last chance to get Kellen Moore because Kellen Moore wasn't Staley's choice. Joe Lombardi was. We saw how that worked out. HB dive, HB dive, HB dive. Bo Jackson up the middle, except you don't have Bo Jackson. I think this is that play, and I would not be surprised if Kellen Moore is the Chargers head coach next year. And they're going to let him run the offense. That gives me hope that they're going to be a better offense in a really good system, and have high hopes. So that's why I'm a Chargers fan, but I'm telling you, Kellen Moore is going to be calling everything offensively.
Dude, so for me, my 3 and 4, I'm 100% on base with that. You know, the Denver Broncos, I think, finished 3. They'll be better than the Raiders. The Raiders are absolutely awful. But first and second, I definitely think the Chiefs do take first, I will say. But, dude, me personally, I think if the Chargers have a full healthy season, that is the thing every year for me with the Chargers is Keenan Allen goes down, somebody goes down, and it's over and over and over again. If that does not happen and they can stay healthy the whole entire year, I can 100% see a pathway to number one overall. First in the division for the Los Angeles.
Because they also play the Chiefs hard. Them and the Bengals are the only two teams that actually play the Chiefs hard every game. So.
In Kansas City, especially too. The Chargers always give the Chiefs problems in Kansas City.
And I think Moore brings so much to that offense. And I'm, like you said, a little sneak peek. I'll touch on that later. But Moore does a lot for that team for sure. So we'll see.
Can an offensive coordinator win Coach of the Year?
No.
All right,
if they
let's
fire
go.
him mid-season, maybe.
We're running a little low on time, so let's go. Chargers don't have enough on defense. Yes, they do. They really do.
When healthy.
Yeah, when healthy.
That's the key word. When healthy.
They have the best safety in the game. They got 2 of the best edge rushers in the game. They have a rookie that's going to be a superstar at linebacker.
Asante Samuel's a baller.
Asante Samuel, J.C. Jackson, all the above were hurt last year.
But that's one thing you talked about though, real quick, is
Damian Henry
in the draft
is going to be a superstar, better boss. If you have an IDP league, pick him up. He's going to be a absolute superstar at the linebacker spot. Trust me.
Okay.
And he won't start week 1 because Kenneth Murray will, but after that, Henley will start week 2. All right, moving on to the NFC here. East. I think I'm going to go Eagles. I mean, I think we're all going to say the same thing here. Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders, right?
Yeah.
This one,
I don't know, actually.
This one was tricky. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the trickiest one for me. This is what I settled on: Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders.
Talked about that earlier on a show too. That you wrote about that.
Philly losing both coordinators is concerning.
A little bit.
That is that. Now I believe in Sirianni, but that definitely plays a big part of it. And also, nobody ever repeats in this division. I can't remember when the last time the repeat champion was.
Facts.
But I think it's early 2000s, maybe the McNabb Eagles.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I keep hearing all these reports in Washington that Sam Howell is a dude and he could actually play. Which, if that's the case, good for him.
I've seen him play. I could see him.
Yeah.
He knows how to play football.
I don't see Daniel Jones regressing that much to where they're in last place. So I keep the Giants at 3, Commanders at 4.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I think that's a great stat to prove up. You know, no one's taken it 2 years in a row. That's kind of insane. I didn't know about that. But I think the Giants are interesting because of what they did last year. You can't just overlook them. They were a sneaky team. Saquon's on a contract year. It means he's got to prove something. If he stays healthy, he'll be insane. Daniel Jones, I think, takes a little leap up. But I still have it staying the same. I think Philadelphia repeats. I think Philadelphia is just a step above. But
they're the most talented team in the league. Like,
yeah. Philadelphia's whole roster is just insane. But I will say though, the Cowboys adding Stephon Gilmore to that defense is a huge upgrade. I mean, to have Diggs and Gilmore, you know, and the defense that they already have, the D line that they have. Brandon Cooks too. I love the addition as another wideout for them.
If he stays healthy.
Yeah, 100% if he stays healthy.
Him and Gallup. Gallup has to stay healthy too.
For sure. And then I've heard a lot of good things about. I don't know if he's Schultz, but I've heard a lot of good things about Ferguson too. I heard he's been looking pretty solid at tight end. So we'll see. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly how Edward said it.
Yeah. Real quick, as far as the repeat champion goes, 2004. So we're coming up on 20 years.
Holy
since there was last a repeat champion.
No clue that. Wow.
It was the Eagles between 01 and 04.
Wow.
And it's going to be the Eagles again between 2023 and 2024. I was kidding.
We'll see.
All right. Moving on to the North. We're going to be talking about this one for the next 5 minutes. For sure, because I know Heavy T is not going to agree with mine at all. I really like the Packers. I think it goes Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears.
Damn.
I like the Packers. I like their young cornerbacks. I just think this team is being underlooked, and everyone's like, Aaron Rodgers left. They're nothing without him. I think Love has enough. I love the 2 running backs, the offensive line. I just like the Packers. Like, they're my long shot to win. Like, I'm putting money on them to win the division, but obviously they're my long shot, so I'm going to put them out here for the show. But I just really like them to win, like, be that one team like Seattle was last year that nobody thought that makes it to the playoffs. I think the Packers are my one team. So I have them winning, but I can see them being second and still going. If
I don't know what to shake my head at more. The fact that you just put the Packers winning the NFC North, or the fact that Clemson on TV looks like absolute ass. They are terrible. That team is awful.
Yeah.
Like they missed a field goal to bring it within a 3 or 4, and they just fumbled like within the 10. Like, no, this team is terrible.
Edward, I completely hedged. I threw down 2 things on Duke at plus 120 and plus 225.
My man, I told you.
Man.
And the Duke defense is no joke.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, dude, they got a corner that's freaking been playing 7 years.
Yeah, COVID and all that. Yeah,
Dabo Swinney is probably the most overrated coach in all college football.
I agree.
It's It's between him and Brian Kelly. So we'll come back to that because that's a whole nother conversation.
That'll be next Monday.
But yeah, probably next Monday. NFC North, Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers.
I know how much you hate the Packers, so I'll give you that.
It's not that I hate them. I just don't think they're good.
They are. They're secretly going to be good, man. They got two of the best young corners. They got a good linebacker core, solid offensive line. They still have Aaron Jones. They have A.J. Dillon. I think Jordan Love, Christian Watson, Dobbs, Musgrave is going to be a tight end that people would be wishing they drafted by halfway through the season. I'm telling you, they're going to be good, man. They're going to be good.
I mean,
I have them winning because they're by long shot, but I can see them getting second to the Lions and making the playoffs.
Look, there's good, and then they're winning the division good.
But we're talking about the NFC too, right?
We're talking about the NFC, yes, but I think the Lions pick off from what they did last year. And that look, don't get me wrong, the Vikings defense is awful. That offense is still really good. So
they got better, in my opinion.
Yeah, they got better. I love the Jordan Addison pick.
How?
They lost Cook, but I don't think Madison's all that bad. Jordan Addison's gonna get targets.
Madison has been one of the worst average running backs in the NFL whenever he got his start.
And they have your boy Hawkinson, and Cousins is gonna sling it, dude. Like
that's what he has to do because you have to keep up with the teams that they're playing.
Oh man, I can't. I
am all about Hawkinson, though. I'll give you that, though. But the running game is going to be atrocious. For Minnesota.
That was just a vile take. It was so gross, dude. Like, just absolutely disgusting.
The running game is going to be atrocious for Minnesota, and their defense is atrocious. They have one thing going from this: throwing the ball. That's it.
I've said my piece. Thomas settled this place. I've said my piece, man.
Go Pack, go!
Nah, I don't know. It's tough, dude. I don't know any of the strengths of schedules, so it's kind of. I wish I totally should have looked at that. I don't know why I didn't, but I actually still have the Vikings at number 1. I do. I think Vikings at number 1, Lions at 2, Packers at 3, Bears at 4.
I knew this would be the division that we're all different on, like completely different, because it is the closest. All 4 of these teams.
It's such a toss-up.
are really close.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
None are great. It's not like the North and the AFC where they're all good teams. These are all mediocre teams in the same division. So it's
like
really
I just
hard.
put the Bears at number 1. They're at 4, and like they're one of my biggest, on the up teams, and they're at 4. So I'm like any team could be number 1 in that division for sure.
The NFC North, the division of hot takes. Go Pack, go. All right, moving on to the South here. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the whole thing and Atlanta Falcons 4th. No, I'm kidding. Heavy T. I'm
like, please tell me you're joking. Like, oh my goodness.
He's about to click off the show, dude.
He's about to quit and start his own show.
I was about to leave. I was like, this has turned into Hot Take Central. I can't do this anymore.
No. I'm really flipped on Atlanta and the Saints 1 and 2. I kind of want to give it to Atlanta only because of the offseason moves they made on the defense. So I kind of have Atlanta. I think what's going to happen here is it's going to be that flex game to the Sunday night. That's going to be whoever wins between Atlanta and New Orleans wins the division type of thing and makes it to the playoffs. I don't know if they played the last week, but it's going to be close to that. They're that close. And then I had Tampa Bay winning more games than the Panthers. What I saw in the preseason, what I see from the Panthers, I think they are the worst team in the NFL, not named the Arizona Cardinals. Like they have nobody on offense.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, like I said, is small. He's underweight.
Their O-line
Miles Sanders hasn't been able to carry a full load ever in his career. Adam Thielen's going on 35 before 30. He's in the middle there somewhere. No other. It's just they got shut out at a preseason game. It's embarrassing to do. The team just doesn't look good. So I'm going to say Atlanta wins the last week of the season to win the division, followed by the Saints, then the Bucks, because I think they do have talent there on offense. If Baker Mayfield could just throw the ball up to Mike Evans, he's going to catch it. Rachaad White's going to be a thing. The defense is still pretty talented. I think it goes Atlanta over the Saints by 1 game, then the Bucks, and then the Panthers. I think Panthers could be in the running for Caleb Williams, even though they won't take him, but they'll be number 2 pick overall in the draft.
I will say Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Panthers. So still the same way.
Same. We agree.
I will put the Saints at 2. Not because I don't like their team. Like Derek Carr's an addition. That's a better addition than what I had last year. Now they're gonna miss Alvin Kamara for 3 games. Yeah, and the defense is still really good. Yeah. I don't believe in Dennis Allen at all. I don't think he's good. And I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but for the Bucks, Todd Bowles, first coach fired.
I don't think it's a hot take. I don't think that is, honestly.
He sucks as a head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. He's an awful head coach.
Especially
I'm going to say McDaniels for the Raiders. That's my first.
No, I think they give him another year. I think he works it out for another year.
Okay. That is the Raiders' way, though, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they'd probably give Henry Ruggs another year.
Bro, I guarantee you that the frozen head of Al Davis is still calling the shots over there. Guaranteed.
Like the Futurama, the head, like the
exactly. He's basically Nixon in the bowl, like in the bowl right there. Like, same thing.
All right, so I think we all kind of agree there, right?
Yeah.
Thomas,
I'm sounding the exact same way.
You think the Panthers are as bad as I do, or you think the Bucks are the worst team?
No, I don't think that. I mean, the Bucks are going to be bad. They're not going to be good. But compared to the Arizona Cardinals are the worst team in football by far, 100%.
Yeah, they're clearly tanking.
Yeah, but the Panthers it was atrocious, man. I think
it's not good.
I saw maybe one good play, and it was a pass to Adam Thielen the whole preseason. So, I don't know. And, Bryce Young being so tiny, he needs an offensive line, and they do not have anything near that.
They have the worst offensive line.
It'll be really bad in Carolina.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. And I was high on Miles Sanders, but I'm slowly kind of going off of him a little bit, especially because what running lane is he going to get? And he's going to get hit. He's going to get injured again.
He'll be
and then he's going to be the Chubba Hubbard and Blackshare show, and I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Derek Carr, in my opinion, should have went to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that would have been a better spot for him.
I really do. I think that was.
Although, I mean, we're talking about that now, but he has a chance, and he's probably the favorite to win the division with the Saints.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think if he was on Tampa Bay, though, then it would be like they are the favorite to win the division because you still get those
hands
weapons.
down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Baker Mayfield. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the West real quick before we go to our offensive player of the years and all that good stuff. The West, how the West was won. I think it's going to go 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. I don't see any other way. I could see a scenario where the Rams do flip with the Seahawks. I see it. It's possible, but I'm not confident in it. Geno Smith will not be as good as he was last year. It's clear as day. They're going to run the ball more this year because they can. That's Carroll's game. He takes running backs that are nobodies and turns them into 1,000-yard rushes. Chris Carson. He loves the run game. He's all about it. He did it at USC too. We're talking about the man who made Reggie Bush rich without telling anybody. That's why he lost his Heisman. But still, we are here, and Seattle will be not as good as they were last year. The Rams will be better, obviously, because they'll have Stafford and Kupp eventually, but they have zero defense. They lost all of their defense.
It's bad.
They spent zero money on free agency.
Yeah.
The Rams defense to me puts them just above the Cardinals just for that reason only. I don't care who you have on offense. That defense is so bad and so young and not how many games started combined does that defense have going into game one? I would look that up. It's not a lot.
Probably not. Yeah, no, probably not.
So I think we're all agreeant when we say 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals.
For sure.
I'm looking at Heavy T because he likes to have his hot takes. And he's on mute.
It'd probably help if I unmuted my mic. Yeah. I just realized that. No, that one, 100%. I completely agree with that.
Okay, so I think we're on the same page there. So we're going to run through the awards real quick, and then we'll go back to our NFC, who we think is going to be the NFC game and the AFC Championship game, and then who we think is going to win the Super Bowl at the end of the show as we go forward. So we're just going to skip the break because we're already running late, and I'm sure we're going to have some yelling matches here going into this. Let me pull it up here real quick. The odds to win. Which one are we doing first here? The Offensive Player of the Year. Okay, so obviously you can't win the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, even though the MVP is always a quarterback and on offense every year since 2003 or something like that. And It's been a quarterback for like 10 straight years, and before that, it was a running back or a quarterback 3 times. So it's going to be a quarterback, but more on that later. Offensive player of the year, I think it's going to go to a non-quarterback because the MVP will obviously be a quarterback. So you look at it like this. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase is in the running. You got McCaffrey, you got Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and then you could say maybe quarterbacks after that. I just have a feeling it's going to go to a running back. And I'm going to say that the offensive player of the year who single-handedly takes his team to the playoffs and all the way through to the NFC Championship game where I have them is Christian McCaffrey. And he's currently third on the odds at plus 1,600 to win offensive player of the year odds. Justin Jefferson is behind Chase now live, 1,000 to 1,300 to Jefferson, which is interesting. But I'd be willing to put money on McCaffrey at 1,600. That's my pick.
I think I'm going Justin Jefferson. I don't know if the Vikings get to that playoffs, but I think he has a chance to break records by the end of the season.
For sure. I'm going either the leader. I'm very high on Jamar Chase this year. I'll take the not very good money play, but I like that. And then also Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is, especially for bang for buck, what Tyreek Hill does on a football field can't go overlooked. If Tua could find a way to stay healthy,
plus 2,000.
Yeah, he's a dark horse for sure, and so I'll say Tyreek Hill.
So no one took the favorite, which is Jamar Chase currently, which is surprising to me on a team with T. Higgins and other stars. By the way, this is an award that has normally gone to a running back, not a quarterback over the years. That's kind of why I went McCaffrey too. However, Michael Thomas took it in 2019, and Cooper Kupp, before he got hurt the year before last year, also took it. So receivers have been popular in this category of recently. So I can see that as well.
This last year was Jefferson, right?
I believe so. Yeah. So back to back for Jefferson.
Back to back.
I think I'm going McCaffrey. If McCaffrey stays healthy, he's going to single-handedly be the offense for that team. I just think he's going to be the guy. So I'm going to go with McCaffrey at plus 1,600, Jefferson plus the 1,300, and you went Hill, Tyreek Hill at plus 2,000.
Yeah, I'll say Tyreek Hill. I don't want to say Jamar Chase because I want to do a dark horse.
I just don't see that though.
No, that too. Yeah,
and being the favorite
when you have all those other weapons there, I don't know.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Defensive player of the year. I know exactly who my boy Thomas Steve is going to go for here.
Hell yeah.
I am going to say the same team here. I'm going to say Nick Bosa. I like his odds at plus 1,100. He's fourth overall live right now. You got Max Crosby in there. I don't know. Ahmed Gardner, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, maybe somebody else. I don't know. But I'm going with Nick. But I just think that 49ers team being in the NFC gives you an advantage because you play worse teams. So I know Micah Parsons is obviously in the NFC too, but he's in the harder division. So I'm going to say Nick Bosa has a year where if he stays healthy, could see maybe more sacks than we've seen in a while. Strahan status here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going Nick Bosa at plus 1,100.
I'm going to go TJ Watt. I think him playing in that division will get a lot more eyes on him because he's going to be sacking Watson, Jackson, and Burrow. 2 games a year. Yeah, no, I think it's TJ Watts. Honestly, I think it's TJ Watts to lose in all seriousness.
He's third live odds right now too, which is crazy.
TJ Watt is obviously I'm gonna go TJ Watt, but I will say though, Micah Parsons, I can't overlook Micah Parsons at all, dude. The guy is a freak.
He's a beast. He's a beast for sure. Just he has to play the Eagles twice.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But
NFL offensive rookie of the year odds.
I mean, this is pretty easy.
Is it though? Is it though?
I mean, it is. It's interesting, but
it is. And I'm gonna be honest. I just bought his jersey today, so let's go, baby.
You bought a Bijan jersey?
I did buy a Bijan jersey.
That's dope.
First Falcons jersey. First current player jersey I've bought in maybe 4 or 5 years. I think because I had a Julio and I had a Matt Ryan, but yeah, I think the first one in 4 or 5.
Plus 250, which is not great odds, but take it if you can. I do like Anthony Richardson only because he's plus 700, and if something happens, because we said what he could be, right? If he ends up being as good as he can and takes, let's say in that South, the Colts win the division, and he's a part of it, he wins Rookie of the Year over Bijan. So there's a chance there. I'm saying Bijan too, but if I had to put money just on a secondary, I would take it on Richardson over Young, over Gibbs, over Stroud, over Najigba or Addison. So there's the smart bet there. Okay, defensive rookie of the year. We'll be quick here. I think Jalen Carter was a steal of the draft. I think he's going to be amazing. I'm going Jalen Carter at plus 550. I know Anderson's going to be the favorite. Also, Tyree Wilson, Witherspoon, and Christian Gonzalez has risen up the ranks here for New England. But I think Jalen Carter is his to lose, really.
I actually did go Tyree Wilson.
You
I think
did?
My thinking is, yeah, you're going to have Crosby clogging up the line. He's going to be getting double teamed. Leave some wiggle room for Wilson. And also, kind of like what I mentioned earlier with TJ Watt, the division he plays in. If this dude gets sacks on Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, he's going to have some eyes on him. He's good. I think he's going to be, besides Max Crosby, I think he's the lone Raiders bright spot.
I can see that.
Well, I guess Devontae Adams is still
low bar, though.
Yeah, it is a low bar, but Max Crosby is, I think he's mad underrated. He's so good.
I agree with you there. I think Max Crosby is really underrated. And
also found out about him on Hard Knocks when he originally came on.
I'll bet you did. Okay.
I don't know. It's tough. I want to go Wilson because I totally agree with Heavy T. I think that the quarterbacks that plays a lot into it. Like if you're sacking Mahomes or sacking Herbert, that's a big thing for sure. So I want to go him. I do want to say Witherspoon's interesting. I think Devon Witherspoon is pretty interesting. I think if he could break out and, open a lot of eyes. But Jalen Carter, though, for where the money is, I like that.
At plus 550 over Will Anderson, which is 350. I'd put the money on Carter over Anderson because they're
for sure. So
there.
That's I'll give a little 3-parter, I guess.
All right, this one's a no-brainer, and it's minus 300 for the favorite for a future.
Wow.
Comeback player of the year odds, Damar Hamlin, minus 3,000. What's funny on this live odds is somebody has shot up the live odds ranks to the top 10, and it's Trey Lance.
Jeez.
That's funny.
At plus 4,000 now. He is in the running for comeback player of the year.
Who is throwing their money? Oh, God, don't do that. You're basically donating your money to the casino. Like, stop that. Don't do that.
They're loving that.
Damar Hamlin just has to play a snap week 1, and his award is
exactly. Anyone throwing money on Trey Lance, capitalism loves you, and I hope you realize that.
Dude, he has moved up, man. He's tied with Cooper Kupp for odds now.
That's so bad.
Oh, Cooper Kupp. If it wasn't Hamlin, Cooper Kupp could be interesting.
Plus 3,000 for Cooper Kupp.
If it wasn't Hamlin, I think Tua. And
Tua's plus two.
And those Tua hits the ground again, doesn't come back.
He is
and this
list. Tied with Lamar Jackson.
Okay, on mine.
About Lamar. Lamar's
on mine, there's someone else tied with Tua. Tua's second. He's tied with John Mechie, who I think also has a legitimate case.
Yeah, Mechie does have a legitimate case too. Yeah, I think he's going to be a thing too. 21-7, by the way, Duke. It's all but over with my against the spread.
Sucks, dude.
Yes, sir.
Perfectly fine.
That means Oregon's moving on up. All right, let's move on. I think we're all there now. Damar Hamlin, just the Trey Lance was kind of funny that it's even on this list. Coach of the year, real quick, before we go to MVP, we got to hurry it up a little bit. I'll let you guys go first because I'm kind of with mine. I talked about him earlier. MVP, who's your coach of the year?
I'll be honest, I flip-flop between these two dudes. Dan Campbell is the favorite.
I'm not on him.
I'm not going to buy it just yet. I really did flip-flop between these two dudes, but I think I'm going to go Arthur Smith just slightly. It was between him and Robert Saleh, but I think people are going to look in like, yeah, Robert Saleh did turn the Jets around, but he also had Aaron Rodgers. I think that's going to play a giant part of
it.
Okay. Thomas Stevens?
I'm going with my guy, dude. I swear, I'm going with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin.
You can't win it every year, dude. Jeez.
I'm going with him.
He is a great coach. We talked about this team earlier, and I said they could surprise people, and Heavy T convinced me that they'd be second in their division. And if they get second in their division with what they have, I think there's a good case that D'Amico Ryans could win it plus 1,800. Yeah. That's a good bet to make at the beginning of the season. So I'm in on.
Are you on the odds right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing them all live.
Just out of curiosity, what's Tomlin at?
He's not in the top 10.
He's not.
Tomlin on FanDuel is number 7. He's plus 1,800.
Okay.
He's on. Oh, this is balanced out from all the books. He's at 9.
Oh,
in this one
for sure.
So yeah, FanDuel he's higher. Yeah, DraftKings slower. So I mean, what's the odds though for FanDuel. What is it, like plus
18?
I think plus 18. I think I said.
So he's the same as D'Amico Ryans. Ooh, he is. Wow.
D'Amico on FanDuel is actually plus 22.
Damn, I'd take those odds on FanDuel.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's actually pretty good money.
Is fire.
Yeah, that's pretty good money right there. I'll take that. I have to go. Wait, the show's gonna end soon. I can just do it after. It's fine. It's not gonna change. All right, MVP real quick, and then we'll go to our Super Bowl and finish the show and give a shout out to a very special person. MVP, what I'm talking about. MVP odds. All right, it's gonna be a quarterback. Let's be real. Don't spend your money elsewhere. You want to spend your money on another position? Spend your money on Offensive Player of the Year. That's where the running backs, the receivers get their due, as we talked about. It's going to be a quarterback. Obviously, it has moved a lot. The live odds right now are insane. I can't believe this is real that I'm looking at them. I got to make sure this is real. But Joe Burrow has snuck up to tie Patrick Mahomes by average of odds to win MVP at this moment. That's insane. Josh Allen just behind him. Justin Herbert has got a lot of action since the beginning of the season. He was now over Jalen Hurts at plus 900 on average, with Jalen Hurts at plus 1100. Justin Herbert has moved up that much after his contract signing and everything that happened in the offseason. That's insane. All right. I will give you guys mine last. We'll go with Thomas Stevens first. Who is the MVP of the 2023-24 season and why?
I actually had an answer coming into this, but because you just named me those odds, I'm going to go with something else. If I'm putting a bet down, I would like to go with Hurts because of the odds. I think those are, he could easily win it with the, money you're going to get back. But my answer is Justin Herbert. I think
you're one of the truthers.
Yeah. I forget what his first name is, but the offense coordinator Moore, he's going to
Kellen Moore. Kellen
Moore's going to
get used to the name. Get used to the name. He'll be the head coach in 2024.
Yeah, he'll go to the next level for sure, and hopefully everyone stays healthy. And Quentin Johnston's a great addition too, as a third wide receiver. So, give me Herbert or Jalen Hurts.
Okay, interesting. Heavy T.
History will be made as Aaron Rodgers wins his fifth MVP award.
Where's that?
I had to.
First off, don't give me that. Second, you know what? You will be eating an egg salad sandwich when it comes true. I will make note of this. Okay. Third, he's at plus 1,600 on FanDuel, which is actually pretty decent money.
But same as Lamar Jackson, yeah.
He's got the weapons. He's got Garrett Wilson. He has his guys. He has Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall's coming back. Like, that team was actually good last year and nearly made the playoffs with the revolving door of Mike White, Zach Wilson, and Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And now you have Aaron Rodgers. He's winning his fifth MVP. It's going to happen.
It's a tough bet to make because, I would take it that he's not any day of the week and sideways.
That's your problem.
Like, if you want to bet me right now that he wins, that I have to eat an egg salad sandwich, but if he doesn't win, what do you have to do?
I'll get back to you on that.
Like, I'll take that bet all day because I don't think he's going to win or get close. So, and I have the field on my side too. So I have every other quarterback in the NFL on my side.
We'll figure out a way to work this out. We'll make it work.
All right. I'm going to think it gets done this year. I'm high on this team. I actually have them going to the Super Bowl this year because for once, nobody is talking about him preseason. I think Josh Allen wins the MVP this year. I think the Buffalo Bills have a great year. I think they win that division. They go undefeated, beating all the other teams. Make a case for the MVP. Even the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. I think because they're kind of under the radar now because they lost some players and no one's really talking about them. What's going on with Stephon Diggs, which is apparently nothing. They lost some of their running backs, which is a good thing, by the way. I think quietly, I could see them having the best record in the NFL quietly and being that first seed and him winning the MVP.
Edward,
I'm taking
he's
the
on
odds.
the cover of Madden. You have learned nothing. You have learned nothing.
So was Tom Brady, and he won a Super Bowl. So was Patrick Mahomes.
Tom Brady. He's the GOAT for a reason.
Patrick Mahomes was on the cover too. Patrick Mahomes was on the cover too. He won MVP that year.
Cool. He won MVP. Did he win the Super Bowl that year? I think not.
He lost to Tom Brady.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That was the first time that both people were on the cover.
One's got to win, one's got to lose.
That's kind of cool, right?
Ah.
Give me Josh Allen at plus 700, plus 850 on DraftKings right now. I would take that all day over Mahomes at plus 600, even though Mahomes is the favorite, or Joe Burrow, which you get at plus 602, which is stupid, especially with his injury. So I'm taking Josh Allen plus 850. That's my pick. There you go. Now let's go. We got to move quickly here as we go into who we think. Let's just give NFC, AFC champions, and then we'll move into the Super Bowl picks. I'll go first. I said the Bills. I think the Bills beat the Bengals and the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. I think one of those teams gives it to Kansas City in the round previously. I think the Bills have the number 1 seed in the AFC. They go to the Super Bowl on the AFC side against the Bengals because I think the Chiefs, when it comes to the Bengals, when it comes to the Chargers, could be a rough road in the playoffs. I'm doing that. On the NFC side, I think the 49ers, get this, the 49ers will play the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. That's right. With the 49ers just edged him out and going to the Super Bowl. So I'll finish it off before you guys go. My Super Bowl, the Bills against the 49ers. Bills get it done. Bills get it done. The Bills will be the Super Bowl champions this year and also probably
Smoke weed every day.
Let's go Bills, baby. Let's go.
Bills Mafia.
All right, Better Thomas Stevens, what do you got?
I'll start with the NFC so I can make it really quick. I'm same as last year. Niners, Phillies. I got Niners, Phillies. Niners, Philadelphia. I got the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, beating the Niners once again. So that's there. Other side, I will actually go Buffalo and the Bengals with you. And I will go Buffalo going to the Super Bowl with you 100%. But I do have Philadelphia winning that Super Bowl. I think Philadelphia gets it done this year.
All right.
Jalen Hurts the champion.
My man, Heavy T. Yell it out loud,
All right.
baby. Let's go.
So all 3 of us do have the 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
And all 3 of us do have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl.
No,
I
have the Eagles.
Or that's right. All right. My bad. Well, 2 of us have the 49ers going to the Super Bowl then. I actually have the 49ers beating the Lions to get into the Super Bowl. I'm high on the Lions. The NFC is a crapshoot. Might as well throw a dart and see what sticks. But that'd be pretty cool. I'm cool with seeing the Lions go all the way to the NFC title game. It'd be dope.
Yeah,
AFC, all 3 of us, I believe, again, have the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. However, unlike you both, I have the Bengals advancing and beating the Jets in that AFC Championship.
The Jets, huh?
So
Good.
My Super Bowl is Bengals 49ers.
That's what you had last year.
When the playoffs started, that is what I had last year. Yeah. And because of the way he is, Kyle Shanahan chokes again and the Bengals win the Super Bowl.
All right.
Joe Burrow gets a ring.
The Bengals, the Bills, and the Eagles right here. We'll see how it all plays out. I like all those picks, by the way. I think we're all pretty done on. I think for some reason, I just have a feeling Dallas is going to make a playoff run and surprise everyone and just get blown out by the 49ers.
Yeah.
And the NFC Championship game because that's what Dallas would do.
Yeah.
That's why I can see that happening completely. All right, gentlemen, that's it. The full 2023 NFL Monday Night Rants preview. Thank you for your picks. Thank you for your time. Oh, we'll see what happens next week. And let's not be the first one out in the Guillotine League.
Yeah.
Wait, Heavy T, will you give a eulogy to yourself?
Yeah, I will have to. Yes. I'll make it good. So I just really hope that next week isn't close so that we have someone who's for sure going to be eliminated. Because if it's close, I can't really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we have someone that's like minus 5,000 odds.
Oak fan 24. Yeah, he has better than DeMar Hamlin odds when he come back Player of the Year of going out week 1 in our.
You know what the funny thing is that I know the matchups in the league don't count towards anything, but I'm actually playing him the first week. So
really?
As long as I beat him, I know I'm in the clear. That's all I
there you go, right?
Yeah.
As long as you beat the person you're playing that matchup, you know you won.
I'm in the clear. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, let's call it a night. Go Duke, baby. Looks like that bet is going to win. Another winner for me. More college football bets and stuff. I should probably start putting them out there on Twitter, man. I'm winning. We're winning here at Monday Night Rants, all of us. So I'll put that out there. For myself, Heavy T, Thomas Stevens, at Better Network, Rival Fantasy, Fantasy Alarm, everywhere in the world. I want to say shout out to Taj McGowan. We'll see you next week, my fellow ranters.
Taj.